Yo, what's happening, everybody? Today, Sunday the 30th of November, is the last day of November. You people can kiss your mustaches goodbye, huh? I'm sure you guys are pretty hyped about that. Anyway, today, it's Sunday, it's time to shave. I've not shaved in ages, what it seems like. It's been since Tuesday was the last time. I got a new phone. I figure I should start off with something silly or whatever, but I have a Nexus 6. It's huge. Also, it's incredible, and it's my favorite phone that I own right now. Whatever that's worth. Today, going to go with wet shaving products, High Mountain White Stubby. Good brush. Good brush is real good. Get that water out of here. Get this water out of here. Today's soap, I found out who the lovely soul was that gave me this. Mr. raggedclaws. Thank you so much, dude. Very, very cool of you. Out of left field. Was not expecting it. Thank you. It's really dope of you. So, since he gave me the soap in his honor, I have to go with the wet shaving products. High Mountain White Knot, as he is quite the fan of that grade of hair. So, time to load this joint. I did give this thing a couple of test lathers. And I was really into what I got out of it. It's a French soap. And I've noticed that these French soaps, they tend to give really, really thick, just dense lather. And I am so with that. I'm generally speaking, I'm a fan of slickness. So I tend to put a lot of water, use a lot of water, I should say, when I build lather. And this soap, one of the things that I like about it, aside from nearly everything else, is that you can put a gang of water in this stuff and it just keeps on rewarding you with better and better and better lather. And this actually is a hell of a brush to lather this stuff with. This brush is a hell of a brush to lather anything with. Let's go ahead and be honest in the spirit of full disclosure. This brush, man, you guys have heard me say it before, but I honestly, pound for pound, I just don't think that I have a better performing brush than this one. And when I start making lute again, I'm going to get a huge High Mountain White Knot and make a custom brush out of it, or have a custom brush made of it, because I can't do the shit myself. So yeah, lather's done. It's been a long time since I shaved, like I mentioned, so we're going with this. Hopefully everybody knows what it is, but bam, that's it right there. A sharp ass feather blade. And we're going to go with the Above the Tie H2, which is the open comb variety of their most mega razor, or head I should say. But in all actuality, they're all mega. Stan just does not fuck about, so to speak. The slants should be arriving at their new homes pretty soon. I've read a couple people on Badger and Blade got shipping notifications indicating that their slants had been sent out. So good on you guys. I'm looking forward to it myself. Put just a touch more water in this lather. Oh man, so it's been a while since I've done one of these. No particular reason really, I just haven't felt up to it. Just had a lot going on over the past few months, and I'm a pretty emotional dude, so this shit just tends to get to me. Ooh, man, I have a lot of motherfucking hair. And there's a lot of lather in this brush. Put some more water in it, actually. I think the last time I shaved, if I'm not mistaken, was Tuesday. I have a lot of growth. So the H is absolutely necessary today. I don't think there was any, I don't think there's any cutting going on with anything aside from this H2. So here we go, pass number 1. Feathers are not my go-to blades. I don't use them very often, but I'm glad that I have a nice little cache of them. Because on occasions like this, there's nothing better than a good mega feather blade to get through all this hair, and it is a lot. Right. So, talking about the phone, since I brought it up earlier, I've been using Android for quite some time. My very first Android phone was a Nexus 1, and I've had every Nexus phone since then. The Nexus 5, or excuse me, the Nexus 6 is good. I don't really know that Android 5.0 Lollipop is quite ready for prime time. It acts a little silly. On occasion. But it acted nicer on my Nexus 5. So I don't really know what's going on there. That's a little strange. But I will say that as it stands right now, I've had the thing for about a week, or a week and a few days, maybe, something like that. Actually, I think it's been right at a week. And I don't like it. I don't think that I'm as enamored with it as I was with the Nexus 5 this far into the ownership period. But that's okay, because one of the many good things about the Nexus phones, and probably the single best good thing about the Nexus phones, is that Google is really, really good about updating them with nobody's interruptions. Or interference, I should say. All right, here we go. I'm probably not going to really say a whole lot while I do the, while I cut this forest. Man, this is loud. It's disgusting. So the weather here, and yeah, I'm gonna sound like an old man talking about the weather. Man, this soap is slick, dude. That's one of the things, when you get a good veggie soap, they're really, really good. I think for somehow, I don't know, somehow I've been able to make this make sense in my head, but a bad veggie soap, I've found, a lot of times can be better than a bad tallow soap. Even though generally speaking, I prefer tallow soaps, I think that a bad veggie soap is better than a bad tallow soap. Now, with that said, that's not to say that this is a bad soap, because this stuff is good. This is very, very good. The volume of the lather is very reminiscent of the first formula of LA Shaving Soap Company products. Stuff like the Topanga Fougere and Spring Street, that sort of thing. Which I personally prefer to the new formula. The new formula, I just have problems lathering it, but honestly, I think I just need to load more. I'm gonna go back to this puck, actually. I think I just need to load more, and any perceived woes will be taken care of. But yeah, this stuff this LPL, I can see, generally speaking, the knock on this soap is the scent. A lot of people don't care for the scent, which I think is silly because I am a huge lavender fan and I really like things that smell medicinal. And this soap absolutely checks those two boxes and checks them with aplomb. It's very camphorous. And it's lovely. I do like it a lot. So yeah, what was I talking about or going to talk about? Yeah, the weather. The weather here has been like utterly nuts. Today, here in Nashville, it's like 67 degrees when I was outside earlier. I mean, I was riding around, I even had the roof down on the car and everything, and it's November 30th. I'm riding around with the roof down and all the windows down on November 30th. That's not what it's supposed to be like. That's not the climate zone that I live in, I should say. Yeah, it's wild, man. Especially given that the other day it was like, I was somewhere, I was out and about and it was like 33 degrees and that sucked. But whatever, man, it's nice today, so I'm probably gonna get out again and enjoy this unseasonably mild weather. Hopefully there's not a tornado that comes through and rips shit up. So yeah, the other day, when I was walking, I decided to walk to the coffee shop, which it's been a while since I did that. And I took a look around, and I was noticing, I should say, all the development that's going on in downtown, which I always do anyway. That's kind of a thing of mine. You know, some of you guys may know that I'm very much into like urbanity and the science behind cities and all that good stuff. Namely, the expansion and growth of cities. Nashville, of course, is going through a boom right now, and there's a lot of cranes. There are a lot of cranes in the core of the city, be it Midtown, Vanderbilt, shit, I got myself there. Be it Midtown, Vanderbilt, downtown, Sobro, quote unquote, the Gulch. There's a lot of construction going on right now, and it looks like we're probably going to be getting a new tallest building. It's not been officially announced or whatever, or I should say there's not been an official groundbreaking, but it looks like it's pretty much going to happen. And it's an exciting time to live here. You know, you guys know that have seen these things for a while that I absolutely love this city. It's my second favorite city on earth, actually. I love this place, and just to see it boom, and I guess just to see other people believe and rant and rave about the city the same way that I have for like the past 10 years, it's nice, you know? There's an amphitheater that's being built right along the river. Nashville, of course, was founded along a river called the Cumberland River. And there's an amphitheater that's being built right along First Avenue, which of course is along the river. And they are flying on that thing. There's also a new baseball park that's being built for our baseball team. It's a minor league team, unfortunately. AAA, woo, that's a lot of blood. AAA team for, I think it's Oakland is who the affiliate is now. But yeah, they're absolutely flying on that thing too. And it's a trip because I only get to see the thing like maybe once every like few weeks or so, because I don't really live. I don't live in that part of downtown. It's the new ballpark is just north of downtown, and I live in the northern parts of downtown, but I live like in the core. Like I live in the old part of downtown, the established downtown, the real downtown. So yeah, you know, I was noticing that as I was walking to the coffee shop, and it was cool. It's been, like I said, it's been way too long since I've done that. So that was really nice. And speaking, of cities, and like I mentioned before, Nashville is my second favorite city around. My favorite city, of course, is Detroit, Michigan. And there's a guy. One of the things that you've learned from me, if this is not your first go around on these videos, is that techno is from Detroit. Detroit techno is from Detroit. Go fucking figure. So Detroit is where techno was born, and a lot of people will tell you now that the current heart/home of techno is Berlin, Germany, which I have a point or whatever, but I'm not one of those people. I don't subscribe to that theory, although it is easier now to go out and find, a techno night at a club in Berlin. So again, these people have a point. I don't subscribe to it, but I'm not going to argue with it. So there's a club there. There's some big clubs, in the techno music scene, quote unquote, and I hate that word. But the guy's name is Dimitri something or other, and he's an old man that runs the joints. And he is in Detroit right now, or he was in Detroit earlier, taking a look at a space, which was the old Packard plant, as in where they built Packard cars, which of course is abandoned these days. And he wants to turn that space into a club. I think it's Tresor, I think is which club it is. I don't really remember. I don't really follow those European clubs like that. But he wants to turn that space into a club, which is like, that's beautiful. I'll actually link, I'll link in the YouTube down below, the YouTube video I should say. I'll link down below to, the guy's, the video of the guy actually touring the space for the first time. It's a pretty cool little video actually. First pass, it's done. Head is good. Actually I can stand to clean up there a little bit. Not the worst. Put a bit more water in this mega fucking lather. So yeah, it was really cool to see the guy, a lot of times people will say that they're going to do something in Detroit, and this is actually more of an old thing than a new thing. Detroit is just, it's kind of on an upswing. Yeah, it was cool to see the guy actually come through and take a look at the space and, want to go through with his plans. But there was I don't remember where the hell it was that I was reading it. But there was an interview with a guy called Derek May. Derek May is one of the three people, excuse me. One of the three people that are, I guess you can say he's to blame for the creation. One of the three people that you can point the finger at to blame for the creation of techno music. His name is Derek May. Of the three guys that, got techno off the ground and birthed it and all that incredibly historic stuff that they did, he's like the most charismatic guy. That's the guy that, that's the face. If you had to say that any of them were the face of techno, it would certainly be Derek May. He's a passionate motherfucker. I love that guy. But there was an interview that he gave years and years and years ago where somebody was, just asking him about techno and, if he had any idea that what they were doing back in the late 80s would end up being as huge historically as it is. And he was saying, and I actually wrote the quote down, I'll read it. He said that, speaking about techno music, he said, the music is just like the city of Detroit, a complete mistake. It's like George Clinton and Kraftwerk are stuck in an elevator with only a sequencer to keep them company. That's a very famous quote of his. I've heard it numerous times over the years, but I guess just to see the actual words that he used, because, the whole, a complete mistake. He said the city of Detroit is a complete mistake. I don't know. I guess that just kind of was like, that's Derek May, though. He'll say whatever the fuck it is that he thinks needs to be out there. God bless him. Yeah, and it's just like, I can see his point. Although the city of Detroit itself being an accident, I think, well, I don't know. There's a lot of fingers to blame, a lot of blame that can be passed around for the demise of the city. You know what? Let's go ahead and sort this out up here. And I did switch to the mild base plate, by the way. Take a look at that lather. Is that not incredible or what? And I don't even face lather. That is skills, ladies and gentlemen. That's it right there. So yeah, I'll link to the stuff that I'm talking about if anybody gives a shit. And actually, somebody also on the subreddit, I linked him to a couple of my mixes, and he was very surprised because it wasn't techno and it was drum and bass. And I actually did record a techno mix one time, and I'll link it down below as well. Not really too terribly proud of it, because I'm not proud of it at all, but whatever, I'll show it to you guys. This bit right here goes straight down. Everything else kind of does this, but this bullshit goes straight down. Right. Actually, I'm going to stop this right now and restart it because you know how this shit works. Boom. Cool. Yes, this. So yeah, you guys that are on the fence about getting lucien, which I probably mispronounced, but I'm okay with that because again, I'm not the Frenchest motherfucker out there. It's really good stuff. The performance is just next level. Look at this stuff, man. You don't build leather like that. Let's be honest here. That's incredible. One does not simply build leather like that. I've never seen that movie. I probably butchered that quote or used it as a context, but I don't care. The joys of not owning a television. The privilege, I should say, of not owning a television. So yeah, I got a new job also. I guess I should tell you guys that. I'm still not earning what I need to, but I'm getting valuable experience. And Eric Burgos likes this. You know, I've seen people making mention of their cobras and their mongooses that use these same blades, feather blades, that this thing does. And I'm gonna be really honest with you, I'm jealous of you guys. I want one of those things bad, really, really bad. They look so dope. And knowing how well these blades do, and how long they last, I'd love to get my hands on one. I think I will, actually. Ragged Claws, that was just for you, no lather there. I think that's pretty much it, boys and girls. Ooh, this thing looks nasty with all them big ass hairs. Looking a little sloppy here. Yep. I'm gonna cap off this delightful little shave. Actually, I'm not ready to cap off shit. That's more like it. Boom! Savon lavande. This is wonderful stuff. This is my favorite of the fine aftershaves, and I don't say that just because it's discontinued. I was the most heartbroken citizen of the internet when I found out that this stuff was done, because I love this stuff. It's very, very good. Also, big thanks to mrtooniceguy for living up to that damn username, as per usual. He hooked me up with the gendarme eau de cologne that this is actually based on, and it is wondrous. If you have some of this aftershave and you like the way that it smells, you should definitely get your hands on that gendarme. It's Gendarme. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. I more than likely am. I speak Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish, but I don't know shit about French. So yeah, absolutely get some of that stuff because it's wonderful. And with that, that's going to be it. Last day November. Tomorrow is December, the last day of the year, or last month of the year, excuse me. Hope you guys make it a good one. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and I hope you guys had a good quite some time since the last time that I saw you. And I'll see you soon. Peace.